All right. Hello. Welcome back to Conscious Evolution. My name is Alan. Thank you for joining me here today, guys. Today, we're going to do a live stream on spiritual initiation, the whole mind, body, and soul transformation. I'm going to wait for some people to join us here. So, first, some housekeeping here. My Patreon site is ready to launch finally, and I am planning out all the dates. I believe I got them mostly set up, and I will launch that soon. So, first thing I want to say is there's going to be a group healing session that I'm going to do and open it up to everybody that sees this. And that's going to be on November 1st. So 11/1 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in joining us for that, then go and I just ask that you donate something to the channel. Whatever it is. I would say, you know, base it on something with your synchronicities, your numbers. Donate $1.11 or 222 or 333 or 111, whatever. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. So the Patreon site's ready. I'm really excited about that, and also the mastermind group. That's probably my favorite thing that I'm creating at this present time is this mastermind group, and I'm limiting it to 5 people. So 5 people to join this group, and we're going to do 2 meetings a month. And I think it's going to be a really powerful, transformational group to be a part of. I mean, it's something I'm really excited about. So today, spiritual initiation, mind, body, and soul transformation. So I wanted to say that we the spiritual initiation essentially is the spiritual awakening. When you awaken to these truths, you awaken to what you're really doing here and learning, you know, how you were manipulated your whole life and how you were probably manipulating people also. So, this usually goes in stages and phases. You go through your awakening, and your your first phase or your first stage of it is your actual awakening, where you're awakening to these to there's something more to life. It's like we feel that there's something more going on here. We know that something's happening and something's changing on this planet, but we may not know what it is. And then we awaken to that, which is usually in a lot of cases, not always, but it usually happens to do with, awakening to conspiracies and to the fear and buying into that and what's going on. And, all of that's just a program as well, like Planet X and Nibiru and being a prison planet and so on and so forth. Like all of that's a program developed by a lower energy, a lower consciousness, in my opinion. And even if it was true, does it really matter in this awakening stage when you step into your power and you're really facing yourself? A lot of people, that's the hardest part of this, because everything, the as above so below, as within so without. So everything within us is reflected into our external reality, and that's also goes for the group consciousness, the collective consciousness of the planet. So if we're all still in the lower consciousness and we're still in that really fear-based mentality, then we're easily susceptible to manipulation for things like Planet X or whatever it may be, to instill more fear in us that that these things are gonna there's gonna be a catastrophic event that happens on the planet and so on and so forth. Like that's really where I was and how I bought into it. I was like in such a fear that I was scared of everything that was going on, and that really caused so much stress in my body. The energy was not balanced within me, and you know I got to a point to where I was finally just tired of all that and asked for assistance, because I believed that there was something more than myself. I just didn't know what it was, but I could feel it. I started feeling the presence of beings around me, but I couldn't see them. I was alone, no one near me, and I knew that someone had entered into my energy field, and I could feel these things around me. So that's what started opening my mind to the possibilities that there's more than meets the eye, and we really don't see that much in this reality. We don't see more than like 0.00005% or 1% of the light spectrum. We don't really get into that. We can't see it, we can't perceive of it, and that's, intentional. It's designed that way because we really don't need to see it, but we can awaken and raise our consciousness and energy level to perceive of these things, to kind of see beyond the veil, if you will. So, in my experience, my awakening and my spiritual initiation and this whole mind, body, and soul transformation was started with the awakening with the fear and experiencing a lot of anger and rage and anxiety and panic. I just kept going through and just recycling those thoughts and beliefs. Belief is just a thought you keep thinking, and you stop thinking those thoughts, then you shift your belief system, you shift your energy. And so I went through awakening. I went through, extreme anger and rage. I was just in anxiety. I was stressed out all the time. I was scared. I was so scared of everything. Another thing I think a lot of us go through in the beginning is telling everybody. It's like you got to tell everybody, and they have to see it your way and believe what you're saying. But that's your truth. You know, it doesn't mean it's going to resonate with everybody. Not everyone's at the same level of consciousness, and it's actually designed most times that when you awaken, that your group around you, your family and friends, are not awakening with you. And that's part of your initiation, is to move through that and learn from that experience. So in the future, when you are faced with that kind of adversity again, you know what to expect and how to move through it more gracefully. Everything we experience in life is like training for what's to come, for what's going to happen, for whatever you step into your purpose work. So you got to tell everyone, and then nobody, at least in my case, nobody believed anything I was saying. Um, but they respected me enough to not like make fun of me, and they took what I said seriously and respectfully declined to agree with me, which is fine. But that was the fear programming that I was in, and I was warning everybody, and I sounded like a crazy person because I believed those things, and I believed because it's such a deep inherent knowing that something is happening on the planet right now. Such a deeply ingrained in our DNA that there's a shift happening. And if you don't know what that shift is, and that fear kind of makes sense, especially when you're a conspiracy theorist like I was, hunting down these conspiracies and the manipulation and lies. It's like when it's easily you fill that in, with that feeling you have that something's going on. You put that as that's what's going on. There's going to be a major something or another that's going to endanger our lives, and like, I don't believe that to be the case anymore. I really don't. I believe that's a fear manipulation to to keep us paralyzed in fear. And then uh and then once you go through that, i i think we go into like an isolation phase, like a hermit mode, to where we just, we're done telling people about it. We're done trying to beat them over the head with our beliefs. We're done trying to get them to see how we see and to believe how we see. We stop with that, and we go into isolation where we remove ourselves from all these external factors, or just isolate and become more to yourself. You're not so outspoken. You're not telling people about the things that you're learning, even though you're probably still in that program like I was. But that isolation, that hermit mode, is absolutely paramount to your experience, your initiation, because that's allowing you to sit with yourself and eventually that leads to your self exploration. You start exploring these things, and with me it was like the shift out of the fear, which is when I heard something and it resonated so deeply that I had no doubt in my mind that it was absolutely accurate. I knew that was true on such a deep level. I had no, logical reason to know that was true, but that I just knew it. I just knew it so deeply within my intuition, that I was able to discern that that was real, and that was when it was something spiritual that I heard, that we were all going to be okay. Everyone's, you're safe, and you're safe to speak your truth. And it's like this peace and calm came over me, and that's when it started. And I started going into that self exploration, and that's like, the mind, body, soul. That's the mind. That's what it all starts with, the mind, because you got to restructure, reprogram your mind to this new way of thinking on this spiritual path. To you got to change. eh, First you got to face fears, you got to face yourself honestly. You got to be honest with yourself and face yourself, and start reprogramming and changing those thoughts and beliefs. Hey, what's up, brother? I see you. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but twin flame guy. Oh man, I just butchered that. I'm sorry. Love you, brother. um so you got to start transmuting those fears that we have. And these fears are the programs that have been instilled in us since birth. We really got to sit with this self exploration while we're sitting in this isolation and hermit phase and hermit mode, that we can have that time to explore what no longer serves us, what the fears that are holding us back. Because fears they're just false evidence appearing real. So those are things that you have to, I mean, you don't have to, you have free will. It's your choice if you want to go through this initiation or not. But that's just kind of telling you based on my experience and what I went through and how I went through these changes. Because like, you go through the spiritual initiation, in my opinion, and then, if you so wish to, and I think that's the purpose for most of us awakening right now, and the people that have already awakened have been doing this for years, they go through this experience, and then they can help guide others through this experience and be the way showers, the leaders to help people get through their ascension, their shift in consciousness. So you got to really be honest with yourself and take that inventory and go through it step by step, and really sit with it and feel those emotions, because all those traumas and abuses that we felt in our life are still in our bodies. That energy is in our body because it's we have an emotion associated with that. So when you feel that emotion, it'll trigger that trauma, or when you experience something similar to that trauma, it'll trigger that emotion, or you know what I mean? They go hand in hand. So you have to process that emotion to get through and let it go out of your body. So you really have to feel it and sit with it for that. And then it's really changing the way you think, because the way you think is also a pattern, and that belief is just a thought you continue to think, right? So those beliefs and those thoughts that you're thinking have created those neural highways in your brain, which is it's your brain gets dependent on those certain thoughts. So it's like, it's 2 o'clock today. All right, it's time to it's time to get angry and start getting triggered. It's time to go into your stress and panic mode. So your brain's releasing those chemicals to facilitate that, because your body is addicted to it. It's like, it's not just drugs and alcohol that we get addicted to. It's thought patterns and belief systems that we are literally addicted to, and that's why it's hard to change it. It's hard to just step away and walk away. Like, it really requires some kind of self exploration, and really being honest with yourself and sitting with those things that are no longer serving you, or anything, any belief that you feel, any thoughts that you think that don't that don't feel right to you anymore, that's an indicator to sit with that and to think about, to see if that thought or belief is still serving you. It's still serving your highest good. Because if it's not, you get just replace it. Pluck that belief out and put a new one in. And then transmuting fears is really just that's the biggest one because we have so many fears wrapped around everything. That's all we're taught in this society and this world is to fear. I had deep, deep fears of old movies like The Exorcist and Pet Cemetery. Fucked me up as a child. I was like 5 years old when I watched those movies. Like that is not good for your, because up from the time you're up until you're like the age 7, that's when you're really programming your subconscious mind. Like you really don't have a subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is taking in all your surroundings, and everything you experience up until that age is what develops and creates who you're going to be for the rest of your life until you have an awakening experience and start sitting with those things. Um, so the fears is the most important thing, and really, once you learn a method that works for you to walk out of those fears, it becomes a lot easier. Like, I'll tell you what worked for me with the fear is I would sit with these in almost like a meditative state, but this was way before I started meditating, and I would imagine me being the light because you are the light. You are love and light. So when the light meets the darkness cannot exist where the light is. The darkness is the absence of light by definition. So when you shine the light, the darkness cannot exist in that same space. So I would imagine that dark or that light, and I would imagine whatever that darkness or whatever that fear was, and I would have that sitting like right in my energy field, and I would imagine this light, this tube beam of light coming from source straight down to my crown chakra, and I would see it just expanding out of my body, and I would keep growing it until it went through these experiences that were plaguing me, that were fears of mine, and I had to sit with them and I had to face that fear. Like with The Exorcist, that little possessed girl, I had to literally like be there with her and express that and expand that light out through that experience and transmute it into something more elegant, more beautiful. And, that's what worked for me. I don't know. It might work for you. It might not. I just felt like I should share that because my head started tingling when I started talking about it. So I feel like that helps somebody out there. And then really is going through these experiences, you really start developing and trusting your intuition more. You're trusting your discernment, trusting that when you hear things that feels right, like it feels right in your DNA, then you know that that's true. You don't have to have proof for it. Some people, certain personality types do need that scientific evidence, that scientific proof to believe that something is real or not, or true or not. Um, I'm not one of those people. I can go based on faith, based on what I feel is true in my body, because your body is going to tell you if something doesn't feel right to you. Honor that feeling, and trust your body, and watch how that develops and how you transcend so many things just by trusting what your body's telling you. Because anyways, all right, moving on. So the next thing I wrote down was learning to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's a really good way to grow. um, and while you're in this self exploration and hermit phase, it might be a good time to do that, or getting to that stage may be the thing that's uncomfortable for you. So get comfortable being there. Okay. That makes a big difference for right now. And you're going through all these experiences for a reason. So there's a reason you're supposed to be there right now. You're exactly where you need to be in this present now moment, or else you wouldn't be there. Okay. So that's mostly what I can think of right now for the mind aspect of your spiritual initiation, that mind, body, and soul transformation. And you really once you really get through that, that's the most important thing. Like you're that's the base, that's the foundation. That's the word I was looking for. That's the foundation to this whole initiation, this whole awakening experience is the oh, I just saw a thing. Hey brother, hope you are well. What do you know about Hyperborea? Our true home, 1221 through the magic mirror. I've not familiar with that, Tom. I'm not sure, but I'm glad you're here, brother. Thanks for joining us. I love all you guys. I came on with a little short notice, so we don't have a whole lot of people here today, but that's all right because this is going to be on the replay, and I'm not going to talk for an hour today. Tree hugger Dave Mahoney, hey brother, man, I ain't heard from you in a while. How you doing, man? Beautiful, beautiful. So where was I? I lost my train of thought completely. Yeah, so that's the mind. The mind is the foundation to this whole awakening experience. And then we go through the body transformation. And the mind, body, and soul, the soul is being developed and helping you develop along this whole journey. So I feel like that's the catalyst to everything. It's also developing and being developed. Like I just said, I don't know why I said it again. Maybe someone needed to hear that. All right. So with the body, like I've gone through some extreme changes in the last year with my body. I went from, I think I was 225 pounds a year ago today, and I'm 165 pounds now. So that's 60, what, 40, 60 pounds I've lost in the last year. Yeah. And I'm not working out or doing anything extreme. Well, yeah, I'm on a keto diet now, so that last 20 pounds I lost was pretty extreme. But when I was at 180 pounds, 185 pounds, I felt good. I felt healthy, and I wasn't weighed down by the excess weight like I was in the past. Lisa Kaplan, just joining. Welcome. Tania Weston, thank you. Hello, hello to all of you beautiful people. I'm glad we're getting some people in here now. I know it was a little bit last minute, but well, it's 2:22 right now on the East Coast. How beautiful is that? Wow, that's beautiful. For those just joining, November 1st, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. I am doing a group distance healing session for whoever is interested in joining. All I ask is that you donate something to the channel. Donate a dollar, 11, 222, 333, $111, whatever works, whatever's good for you. And I usually just a lot of people have actually already been doing this for donation purposes. Donate a synchronicity number that you use, like 555 or 333 or whatever it is. I don't care what the donation is. It just works better if there's an energy exchange, and that donation is like your energy that you're exchanging for the energy. So it works better on this whole trinity kind of thing that we develop, because it's like me, you, and spirit all come together for this healing. But when it's a group, I feel like it's even more powerful sometimes because we're all connected. It's creating that network around the planet, and the further spread out we all are from each other, the better, I think, because I feel like it's creating the grid. It's like, ah, I could be wrong because it's quantum energy and everything is everywhere, and as we're all connected in this. Hello, Charity. How are you? I was contemplating doing a video topic that you recommended a couple live streams ago today, but that actually is what led me to make this live right now. All right. So back to the story at hand. For those just joining, we're talking about spiritual initiation, mind, body, soul transformation. I just went through the mind transformation, entering into the body transformation right now. So with the body, I lost a lot of weight, and I didn't do anything in particular. But what I noticed is that when I started going through this shift in consciousness, this awakening experience, that my body started changing along with it. That, like, I can no longer eat dairy. I went from eating ice cream every day for last year, or not the last year, but for a couple years, almost every day. It was like my favorite indulgence. Like, I gave up the drugs and so many things in my life, but like that ice cream was that last vice I had with food, and my body started rejecting it bad. Like, I can't do dairy anymore. It really messes up my system. So that was one of the things that shifted. Like, my body was like, you need to stop eating ice cream. We're done with this. and if you don't, it's going to be extremely uncomfortable for you. So I went through that and stopped eating ice cream mostly. I tried going through all kinds of different non-dairy and lactate free, but it didn't matter. Doesn't matter. Um, so your body, we really start becoming more conscious of what our body is telling us also. And we kind of get back to more of an ancestral eating habit, more of a basic diet with just simple things, soups, salads, meats, fat. Fat's actually good for us. High quality fats. Like with me being on the keto diet, not being on any carbs or sugar. I mean, I can't say any because that's like impossible to do, to not consume any carbohydrates or any sugars. But I've really down to a very limited amount. I'm trying to get my phone out here. Okay, so that was a big change. But before that, I changed my eating habits dramatically. I stopped eating like cheesesteaks and fast food all the time for the most part, and slowly shifted over this last year, like really slowly, as something would be cut out. And that really just starts changing how your body. Oh, and another thing, one of the most important things kind of goes back to the mind is that intention. Like we can be on a diet and want to go have a cheeseburger or something that's not on our diet and really enjoy it and love it. But when we start to beat ourselves up on that, eating that that is sending the wrong signals to your body. If you cheat on your diet and you go have this experience and eat this cheeseburger, you can set that intention and be extremely happy about it, and just know that your body knows how to process these things now, that it's not going to affect you the way you think it is. You're not cheating on your diet, you're just enjoying something else. You're just enjoying a different experience. Think of it as rewarding yourself for being so good with your diet. If we think that way, then it won't affect us. It won't have a adverse effect on us. Our body does know how to handle these things. Our body does know how to to get rid of the poisons that we consume with the foods that we eat. We're just bombarded with poisons basically all the time, neurotoxins, and it's, oh man, the grocery store is just, it's just bad. All these prepackaged foods loaded with sodium and sugars and carbs, like, and a lot of the sugars that are used are literally neurotoxins that are kind of inhibiting your third eye from opening. It's kind of like the fluoride in the water, you know what I mean? It's like these things are calcifying your pineal gland, and it's not helping you out in your ascension journey. But your body does know how to handle it and excrete these poisons properly, as long as you don't overdo it, I think, and you set that intention. Your body's gonna. We're pretty badass here. You know what I mean? Like we can handle a barrage of assaults onto the body, and the body keeps going. But we can't, we can't keep doing it forever because the body will wear out eventually. But going back to more like an ancestral eating, eating. I did this once. I heard Cryon say that, like, test yourself, see what your body wants. You ask yourself, and like if you're at a restaurant, run your finger down the menu slowly, and if you feel something, like, don't look at the words, just run your finger down, and when you feel your body tell you to stop, then stop and look what it is. I did that on like a Chinese menu, and it came up with a salad. Blew my mind. So your body knows, and it's kind of about becoming in tune with that and trusting it and actually shifting your diet, which will come in time when you're ready for it. You'll just naturally kind of shift into it. I mean, it's just almost like a side effect of the awakening that you're gonna get healthier because you become aware of how we're abusing and damaging our body through this process prior to your awakening. And once you are aware of that, you're less willing to continue taking part in that, and your body really begins changing. So I went through the awakening, like, phases and stages almost. For those of just joining us, I went through the awakening in the first stage and going through your anger, rage, panic, and stress, and then telling everybody about it. And then you know, then you kind of go into an isolation and a hermit mode where you can really start exploring yourself, self exploration and learning and shifting your mind, which is your thoughts and beliefs. You know, a belief is just a thought you continue to think. And once we continue doing that, sitting, with ourselves in isolation. Yeah, I love Cryon too, Charity. Once we do that, it really leads to self-development, because we're learning about ourselves. We're learning about the thoughts that are no longer serving us. We're learning about the beliefs that are no longer serving us and where they came from. Why do you believe whatever you believe? Is it something you consciously came to a decision to believe? Like you did the research and believe that, or is it's someone else's belief? 99.99% of the times, the beliefs you have are someone else's belief that was taught to you, that you were inherited, that you got from your family or friends, and just, okay, well, that sounds good. A bunch of people believe it, so I guess I can believe it too. And you carry that belief because it's like a group consciousness, the herd mentality, that everybody else is doing it, so why not? So really, really do that examination and see where these beliefs root comes from. Where does that stem from? And that is really an enlightening process if you can be honest with yourself. This is all about being honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, you're not hurting anyone but yourself. So really take this seriously, because like the way I've approached this so intensely and radically and being so honest with myself, because I feel like I'm being pushed to go through this awakening process at such a record pace for a reason. Like, I know my purpose here on this planet is large, and I know I have to go through these experiences to be able to come out the other end and teach them, because that's exactly what I want to do. Hello, Kimberly. For all of us this AM. I received this message for all of us this AM. Noel equals birthday of God. Hmm. I like it. That's exactly where you are, Charity. Where in your hermit mode, self exploration. That's cool. Um, so yeah, really got to be honest with ourselves and do that inventory and start changing the way we think. The things that we think that that don't. Let's put it this way: if you're having thoughts, continuous thoughts you continue to think that don't make you feel good, then that thought is no longer serving you. And there's really no reason to continue having that thought. So figure out how you can do that. Figure out another way or another thought or another way of thinking about that thought that will make you feel good about yourself. I went through this morning with some things I'm struggling with mentally right now, and it's I beat myself up on it still, but I know that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I know everything that has happened for a reason. And like I just said, I feel like going through this is like a quickening. So it's like high speed, quick evolution, quick consciousness transformation, conscious evolution, if you will. That's perfect. Um, for a reason. So there's only a few things I feel that are still holding me back, and not really even holding me back. I just really maybe haven't been ready to face it. Yeah, that's probably what it is. If I'm being honest, at 33 minutes, that's my number. 33.3. Look at that. 33.33. All right. So yes, self development is so critical right now, and and I can't think of anything else with that. Now moment is only one that exists. So hard to believe when you feel so much inner pain. Yes, inner pain, which is caused by our beliefs and thoughts and maybe believing what other people have called you or said to you or whatever, you know. Don't let other people project their bullshit onto you, because they're just projecting their pain because they have a fear of facing themselves. So they don't want to face themselves, so they externalize their problems. And if you're the one they're externalizing it to, then you now have become the face of their pain. That's nothing to do with you. It's not personal. It's just energy. So their fears and their coping mechanisms is to do that, to project their illusions or their fears and pains onto you. So don't take anything anyone says to you personally, because it's just them reflecting their inner pain. So where was I? So when you're going through this and analyzing your thoughts and behaviors too, because I mean, let's be real, it's kind of the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but your thoughts and behaviors are all in a pattern of perpetual evolution, so to speak. Once you're in this mind, body, soul transformation, the spiritual initiation, awakening, whatever resonates with you, and we're constantly learning how powerful we really are and learning how we can step into that power more and more. So, transmuting these belief systems and these old thought patterns and things that are no longer serving us is the first step to build that solid foundation to which you can really set yourself up for real powerful growth and real transformation. And then you lead by example, or your transformation is just the example that others want to follow because they see where you're at. They see your transformation, even though they may not agree with it, or they may have called you this, that, or the third, and tried to beat you down. Because when other people see you happy, they want, like, look, there's two frequencies. When they come together, they got to come to an equal ground. So if you're up here shining your light and these other people are down here in their lower levels of consciousness, it's really difficult. Think about how much work you've had to do to raise your light up to here, and they're down here. So they either have to raise to meet your light, or they gotta poke you and I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm saying. They have to bring you down to their level because it's way easier for them to bring you down than it is for them to raise. So think about that, because it seems that whenever you're in your happiest place is when other people start to attack and project their shit onto you, right? That's why. Because those frequencies can't coexist. It's such a big difference. There has to be a leveling or coming together, whatever. They gotta be on the same plane. And like I said, it's easier for them to stab you and lower your frequency than it is for them to raise theirs. Kimberly, is the now moment. Yes, so true. Oh, I thought there was another comment. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, there really is only now, just now. I mean, time is an illusion. I was listening to Matt Kahn yesterday, and he was talking about time being an illusion, and transcending time is stepping out of the third dimension, because yes, time is here, and we use that with this linear experience. But once you step outside of time, it's like, because these other beings and these higher dimensional beings and their spirit guides and everyone that's here helping us, they have no concept of time. They can move in and out of time, in and out of dimensions, and they can go to your future self can come back and tell you not to do something. Like when you get that feeling that something doesn't feel right, it's like your spirit guides or your higher self from the future is coming back to warn you that don't mess with that person and don't get involved with that person. So when you get these feelings, these intuitions, these knowings, trust it. Trust what your body is telling you, because that is the most honest thing in your life right now is yourself. That energy, if it doesn't feel good, trust that. Trust it deeply. All right. So during your self-development stage, you're learning how you've been manipulated. You're learning how you've probably manipulated people. I mean, let's be real. We've all done it. And you're learning how to no longer do that. You're learning how to exist peacefully with people that have manipulated you without allowing that manipulation and without using that manipulation against them, which is kind of a weird dynamic because then when you're aware of what's going on, it's like It's usually better to remove yourself from that situation. If, you know, with me, I gave it a shot and I tried to talk to and, find that level playing ground, but it was a real big difference with the light and the levels of consciousness with us. So it became easier for me to just remove myself from it instead of constantly being triggered. Because I mean, it wasn't even so much as triggered, it was just like words falling on deaf ears. I mean, they had no interest in what I was saying at all because they were not interested in facing themselves. People have such a fear of facing themselves. Like, I was in sales, so I had to learn how to sell cars without manipulating people. So my sales went way down at first, and I was no longer willing to participate and play that game. I was honest with people. That's why my sales went down, you know? And I found a way. Hey, what's up, Bravery? How you doing, brother? I found a way to balance that, be honest and still sell cars. It took a while to get there, but I wasn't, real excited to be there. And honestly, I worked more on my YouTube channel and making videos than I did of selling cars. So that, I just wasn't interested in being there. I was not interested at all. But I did, I went from selling like 12 to 14 cars a month to like seven, to like half as much. Oops. All right. So much for that. All right. Yeah. So that's what I want to say. During your self development, um, when you change your beliefs and your thought patterns, you're seeking new information essentially. You're learning new information, you're learning what's not serving you, you're learning what information to discard from the mind. And I remember saying this to somebody kind of recently, one of my friends, that he thinks I'm on the path of darkness and demons and devils and all that. And he's praying for me and all that, which is, if that's where he's at, that's cool, man. I respect your path, and that's your path. He's still trying to install his belief system onto me. He's trying to get me to see it the way he sees it, which is that first stage of the awakening. One of the first stages where you have to. I had to have people see it the way I saw it. You had to believe it the way I believed it, or it wasn't right. That's how I thought. So there's not just one truth. Everybody's experience is valid. Your truth is your truth. My truth is my truth. I share my truth. If it resonates with you and where you're at, then great. I hope it helps you. Um, so the information you seek seeks you. That's what I was gonna say. I remember that hang up. Yes, yes. I believe we all go through it. It's such a shock when we learn these things and we believe it so deeply that we can't understand why others aren't seeing it the way we see it. Like I couldn't even fathom it. Like I just laid out all this information and evidence for you right here, black and white, and you don't believe it? You don't understand it? You don't think this is real? Like what? And I would get so irritated with that. Uh Yeah, yeah, it's like, "You're not listening to me, you don't hear me." Well, really, they just don't give a shit because they're not at that level. They're not ready to face themselves, they don't care. So that was one of the most valuable lessons that I learned, to stop wasting my energy trying to convince people. It's like it's no different than being in the church where you're trying to save people's souls and offer them salvation from hell. It's like the same thing that we were doing. It's like that's the program. We were programmed to do that. We've experienced that because people in the church have tried to convert us into going to church, and then maybe we've went to church, and maybe we've gone through that program, and then we feel like that's the way we gotta express that to everybody else. But it's just a waste of energy most time because no two people see everything the same way. That's what makes you unique. You have your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own perception of everything. No two people are going to see everything the same. We'll have similarities and parallels, but not the same. So that was Bravery. Those landmines the ego places ahead, like a body trap, like a booby trap. Yeah. Yes. Yes, indeed. The ego is an interesting character. I battle with mine often. I see it like when I get triggered, it's usually something to do with pride or, I feel someone like an expectation, it's like those are egoic structures, in my opinion. And recognizing that and working through it. Yeah, yeah. They set the booby traps. That booby trap is your higher self setting that booby trap so you can learn and grow from that experience. Excuse me. So, man, you can't. Can I mute this real quick? Hold on, let me look here. Yes. All right. Still learning this. What does this button do? Ooh, let's play. No, I'm not gonna do it. So you shift your belief system. You shift and implement those changes into your life once you go through that hermit mode, that isolation and self-exploration and self-development. Start developing these new beliefs and start changing those neuro highways and neuro pathways of your brain. Stop firing and all the fear and triggers and pain, those old thought patterns that are leading down those roads constantly. So we shift out of those, we start implementing real change. Now I feel like this is where a lot of people fall off. Like they get all the knowledge, they see it, they shift and believe these things, but they don't put anything into practice in their daily lives. Like you can't, just knowing it is, that's all. You just know it. If you're not doing anything different, if you're not leading by example, if you're not changing your life, then you just know the things, and they're really somebody else's truth at that point. They're not really your truth, because if it was your truth, you would implement it into your life. That's my opinion on that. So when you do that, it's, if you haven't already, by going through your hermit stage, you kind of start changing those people, places, and things. You change everything about your life. I mean, I've changed everything, quite literally everything. Ah, and you really start to heal yourself. When you make these changes, you have new experiences, and you go through this isolation where you're going through this spiritual development, your mind, body, soul transformation. And once you go through that, you might have spent some time alone, but at a certain point, you'll notice you're starting to attract more like-minded people into your reality. Like, I've noticed my YouTube channel growing in phases of my personal evolution. It's like when I get over a barrier and make a change and implement that change into my life, I'll pick up a bunch of new subscribers. It's amazing how it works. It's directly related to my own evolution. So, um, it's very interesting, the things I've noticed on that. So you really start to heal yourself, your mind, body, and soul. Like I was saying before, like your soul is kind of like that aspect that's like reconnecting with your higher self and reconnecting with source. Learning and knowing and believing that you're always connected to source energy, always connected to the energy that creates worlds. Never forget that. You are the light. You are a powerful being, so powerful. So that's kind of when you learn that or when you become slow to anger, that's kind of like your confirmation that the things that you've implemented into your life and the thoughts and beliefs that you've changed are working, because you're getting slow to anger from the things that used to trigger you and used to really quickly anger you. Well, those things don't really bother you anymore, and you start shifting, and you become slow to anger even on things that still anger you. You don't react. You don't just instinctively react with that fight or flight and go into fight mode. Excuse me. You don't do that anymore. You can analyze it and respond from a calm energy, because anytime you're not in a calm energy, then you're not in your own energy. You're picking up other people's energies or other thought forms and things that are out there. You're picking that up, because if you're not in a calm space and in a centered energetic balance, then you are not 100% in your own energy. Charity. How do we know when the feeling is truly bad that we are feeling inside? Confusion on what is defined by solar plexus and or nervous system. When combined amplifies fright, the unknown. I'm not sure I understand that question. How do we know when the feeling is truly bad? When we are feeling truly bad that we are feeling inside. I mean, if it doesn't feel right to you, then it's not right for you. That would be what I would say about it. I mean, if you're having a feeling, which is, if you're having a thought that is giving you a certain feeling, or if you're having an experience that's showing you a bad feeling, then I would honor that. What is it telling you? First, I would say, what is it telling you about yourself? Is this a projection from somebody else? Is this someone else's energy? Is this someone else's fear that they're projecting onto you? Or is it just something of the way you think of yourself that is making you feel bad? There's so many ways to go about that, but I would honor how you feel. If you don't feel good about something, then really look at that, because that's kind of the blessing. The triggers are the blessings. That's telling you what to look at. That's showing you what to work on next. Hey Danielle, how you doing? And people, I mean, we fear the unknown. I mean, we fear the unknown so much. Like, our feelings are part of our moral compass. Yeah, yeah. Some people's moral compass is a little wacky though too. So those are all things to consider. And are those morals, did you think of those morals, or are those morals from other people? Like, I know we feel bad when we purge. Hi, Alan. Great today, chilling. Good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I'm glad you finally caught one of the live streams here. Happy to see you. I was going to say something else about Charity's comment here. Confusion on what is defined by solar plexus and/or nervous system. I mean, solar plexus, like the chakra, the chakra. Have you ever looked up? I always thought it was chakra, but if you look it up, it's chakra. Funny word. And their nervous system. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about all the chakra systems other than where they're located in the body. But if anything's combined amplifies fright, I mean, those are just, signals your body is telling you, or something that's not resonating with you anymore. And, or it's your fear of the unknown. You know, everybody has a fear of the unknown. I less and less, because I am embracing the unknown. I'm actually excited about the unknown now. Sometimes the fear still comes up and tries to creep back in there, but I've handled that to such an extent to where it's like when you start to experience a fear, you have like 3 seconds, maybe it's 10 seconds, but I think it was 3 seconds to like stop that fear before it gets from your mind to your body. And when you can stop it and cut it off before it gets there, you can really transmute it and really not experience it at all. But sometimes, like, if it gets too far, then you got to do a little more work. I mean, indecisions. Oh, you mean like when making decisions? To feel bad when we're feeling inside when we're making decisions. I'm really not sure I understand the totality of your question. How do you tell a difference between fright and bad? Is there a difference? I mean, is there? Like, I would say fright to me would be more of like a physical assault. What's up, Matt? To me, like, fright would be like someone jumping out and scaring me, or you walk around the corner in the woods and there's a freaking bear right there or something. That would be fright to me. And bad would be like, you're choosing something against that's not in integrity or not in alignment with yourself. Like, those are very different things in my opinion. Now, with the fear and the fright, I mean, the fear and the bad, those are fears and things that are no longer resonating with us, or things that go against our moral compass or our integrity. If you're not acting in your own integrity, it's going to feel bad. If you're thinking thoughts that aren't in alignment with what source thinks about you, what your higher self thinks about you, then it's going to feel bad, because this thing your higher self and source, they only think love, they only have feelings of unconditional love for you. So when you start thinking things outside of unconditional love for yourself, that's when we start having those experiences of uncomfortable feelings. Does that make sense? What's up, Alan? Just tuning in, brother. I'm doing good, Matt. Or crypt, how do you say that? Crypnosis 369. I like the numbers. Danielle, yeah, been a busy bee, finally feeling the crazy energies giving me energy. Well, that's good. Been a while, been purging and zapped until recently, taking advantage of it while it's here. Indeed, we just entered into the new moon, which is tomorrow, I believe. But we entered into that portal today, I believe. The 9-day portal of galactic activations. It's going to be an interesting week, guys. Hold on tight. Good. I'm glad that made sense for you, Charity. All right. Man, I said I wasn't going to talk for an hour today. I really like some, like, people that aren't on the live to watch these things. I know when people see, at least me anyway, when I see an hour video, like I'll watch 15 to 30 minutes of it. Really. But man, it's so easy to talk for that long. I think I covered most I wanted to say. So I'm just some other people in the chat here. I'm going to say the announcements I said in the beginning of the video. I am holding a group healing session, a group distance session on November 1st at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in a different time zone, figure it out. You can Google the time zones and just punch in the time, and it'll tell you what time it is at your place. I'm asking you to give a donation. I don't care what the donation is. Make it $1.11 or $3.33 or $111, whatever works for you. I'm not going to limit it. Whatever your experience tells you to donate. It's about the energy exchange, in my opinion. So when you have the energy exchange, it opens you up and allows you to have more of an experience, to be more engaged in the session, rather than just like taking it for granted when you get a free session. Does that make sense? Also, my Patreon site is ready, and I got a few more healing sessions to schedule. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to let you guys know now. Also, if you're not already subscribed to the website, please go to the website. The link is below. Type in your email and subscribe if you're interested in getting like discounts for healing sessions and my newsletter and updates and all these things that I'm doing now. When I create something, I'll send an email out to my subscribers to the website first before I announce it on the channel. And I may do the same with the Patreon subscribers as well. So with the Patreon, I have 4 tiers. First tier is just for donations. Second tier is a mastermind group where it's going to be 2 meetings per month, and that's going to be limited to 5 people. So I will be the 6th person. And that is what I'm most excited about, actually. So I know Spirit will align the right people with me and with where they're at into this group. And I'm really excited because we're gonna create stuff, guys. So if you're interested in creating and collaborating with me and with the other people in the group, if you're interested in developing yourself more, holding yourself more accountable for yourself. I mean, for your own energy, man. Then this is the place to be. And if you're really interested in doing something in the spiritual work, um, I no limits to the groove, guys. I have it all listed out as a really good explanation on Patreon. So once I launch that, I'll definitely let you know. Should be in the next few days. But November 1st is the first healing session, and I'm opening that up to everybody. So I'm doing 2 tiers of healing sessions. The first tier, which is tier 3, is going to be 4 healing sessions a month. So 4 group distance healing sessions a month. And I will send out the dates to those once you sign up for it. And then I'm going to do the 4th tier for 8 healing sessions a month. That's funny because there's 8 people watching right now, and it was 58:48 on the time when I said that. That's awesome. I love my synchronicities, man. So yeah, there's going to be 8 healing sessions a month for this attunement group, I'm calling it. The 4 healing sessions a month is a DNA activation group. I all these things, all these tears came to me in meditation, by the way, guys. These all came to me as like not my own thoughts. So I was really patient in developing this because I didn't see the full picture. So I waited for spirit to give me that full picture of this. And that's also what initiated this topic today, because I'm seeing how everything goes full circle from the beginning of my awakening to now, to all the experiences that I've experienced and all the experiences and transformation that I've gone through this year is my gift to the world. You know, my healing is my gift to the world. And this is my experience can help you transform your life. You know, that's so I know spirit said I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready and I'm really excited to launch this, guys. So I hope I know the right people are going to sign up for this. People that feel called to these energies, this healing work, are really gonna do it. How do I sign up again? I was looking for headphones. Oh, for the group healing session for November 1st at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just donate to the channel. Just do the PayPal link below. Donate whatever. So we'll do that, and that's also going to serve as the first healing session for anyone that signs up for the Patreon healing sessions. I'll probably throw out another bonus healing session, so there might be 5 and 9 sessions this month for anyone that signs up. So you'll get like a bonus. That'll be your signing bonus. How about that? I think that was all I really wanted to say. How exactly do long distance sessions work, like the actual transmission? Okay, so first I'm going to say go to my website and subscribe, put your email in. But when you read my homepage, it's Healing How We Use It, and it explains everything. Please read the whole thing. But basically, when you sign up for a group distance healing session, it's the same as for you, same for you as participating in a one-on-one healing session. So what you do is you just find a place, a comfortable place where you can lay down or sit down, recline for whatever time our session is going to be for, and be in a place that you're not going to be interrupted, you know, where you can enjoy your privacy and just sit back or lay down, close your eyes and relax. So just treat it as like you got you know, some free time that you're gonna just lay down and relax. There's no need to meditate. There's no need to do any breathing exercises. I actually recommend to not do it, to not have TV on, to not have the radio, just to be in silence so you can be fully present for your experience and put your attention on your body and see what you're experiencing, because you probably will feel sensations at some point in time during the session. And it's really good to sit with that and I'm sorry, something just beeped in my ear. I was trying to see what it was. I don't see it. So really just sit with that and be present with your experience. That's the best I can say in a short time. So I hope I answered you guys' questions. I hope you guys sign up for that. And if you have any questions or concerns, just let me know. You know, just shoot me an email. Got 5 people and 5 likes. I like it. I've been on an hour and 2 minutes. Man, it's so easy to talk for an hour, man. It's unbelievable to me. Oh, that was the beep I heard. Thank you, Danielle. Danielle and I have done a lot of healing work. I've done healing work with her other family members too. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have Danielle on the channel if she feels up for it. I know she's not a big fan of being on camera, but I know she's had some wild experiences with our distance healing sessions, and it's been so cool. I love hearing about people's experiences during for some sessions. What is that? I don't know what that emoji is. Dying? Oh, you're dying for some sessions. Good, good. Well, we got you covered on November 1st. So yeah, I'm really excited about these group things. You know, like I just said, the spirit is really giving me this information, and It took me like 2 weeks to develop the site. So once I started it and put what I thought I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, it just didn't feel right. So I just waited and waited and waited, and slowly, piece by piece, it was revealed to me how to set this up. So I was really patient with this, unlike I was launching my website, which I've had to change like 10 times since I did that because I just jumped the gun. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't research it. I'm usually the type that jumps in with both feet and then learns it. I'll just do it, launch it, and then learn. You learn by experience, anyways, right? So I didn't do that this time, and I am really excited about launching it. So I will do that soon, and I'll make another video announcing it with the links below, and I'll try to go back and put links in other videos too. But anyways, guys, thank you all for joining me here today. I love you guys so much. I hope you got something out of the video. Please like the video, share it with anyone you think it might resonate with, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the notification bell so you get notifications when I'm going live, because I'm going to do this more and more often. I would like to do it every day, but sometimes I just don't feel it. And if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to force it. But I really do love doing this. I love talking to you guys. I love interacting in the chat room. So I'm really excited and happy that I finally figured out how to do it. So I love you guys so much. Be the change that you want to see in this world. Be the love that you want to see. Embody that love. Lead by example, and have a great weekend. Love you guys. All right, Matt. Bye bye.